Hello, welcome to Charlotte's House podcast. I did it again, first try. 2 podcasts in a row. All right, there's a lot to talk about, to show you today. It's been probably 5 or 6 weeks since my last podcast, and I'm at home all the time now. A, because of the pandemic. B, because my job is seasonal and we are closed in the wintertime. So here I am, pretty much most days in my craft room. So you've seen that before, but there's lots to talk about. You've seen this before, but there's lots to talk about. And then there are other things you have not seen before. So let's get to it. So this isn't a super long podcast. I don't know, we'll see. We're just going to get started. You should be able to hear me much better now, which my volume was okay before, but now I'm a little more profesh. So there you are. Okay, so we're going to do the knitting first, as always. Then most of the podcast is going to be sewing. So the knitting portion will be a little shorter than usual. I have a finished object and I have 2 works in progress. And I have some yarn advents to show. And then it's all going to be about sewing after that. So here we go. Finished object. Oh, I don't have the... Okay, phone call. I never get phone calls. Oh, and the dogs are going to bark. My husband should be home within the next half hour, but we're going to get this podcast done. It's getting dark already. What is today? Today is Monday, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. So yes, there will be dogs barking, and I don't know who that phone call was from, but works in progress. So this is a Ross hat from Ross at Smells Like Yarn. This is a free pattern, and he has the hat pattern in 4 different yarn sizes, I believe. I made this. I had a ball left over, not quite a whole skein, but most of a skein of my Daughter of a Shepherd worsted DK weight yarn that I had made my Carbeth cardigan out of a couple years ago. So I made this hat. And you'll see there's a line here. I've been wearing the brim up because we've talked about that if you've been watching my other podcasts. Oh, welcome everyone. Welcome my return viewers. I had a number of new subscribers, so welcome all of the new subscribers. And then I lost just as many viewers as subscribers. We're sitting at 139 viewers. Welcome, everyone. That just happens to be my magic number, so there we are. Very straightforward pattern, a great knit. If you're looking for some last-minute holiday gift knitting, I would highly recommend the Ross Het pattern. Straight up, in the round, stockinette. I'm a DPN knitter, so I use the needles. This is, I showed this before, I think. Oh yeah, so I got this, I'm pretty sure I got this at the Yarn Stop in Clawson, Michigan. But it's a snap, so you we have no snow. You sew the bottom of the connector, the snap, onto your item. And so you can wash it, and then your pom-pom sticks there. So it's a little floppy, but that's all right. So I actually do like it without folding it up, and that kind of does its thing. But this kind of takes off, so I don't know, depending on the day, I might pull it a little tighter so the hat is more flush on my head. But Ross, I doubt he watches. But anyway, if Ross were to watch, thank you, Ross, for a great pattern. I'm going to make another one out of fingering weight yarn because in the wintertime I am often very, very cold, and I do enjoy wearing hats inside the house during the wintertime, but this would be too hot. This wonderful, wonderful Scottish wool. I don't have a tag with me, but it's Daughter of a Shepherd. I know it has Wartbull, I don't know, some Scottish sheep that I'm not familiar with. But, so that is my one and only finished object, the Ross hat. And I've been wearing it pretty much every day. Oh, and by the way, so gardening is done. So when it's not gardening season, it's nail polish season, and it's already chipping off. I forgot to touch it up, but there we go. Okay, so, well, I've already shown you this, and we've already considered this a finished object, but this is my yoked sweater. I'm going to try not to play with the microphone. The yoked sweater, it's now been stitched in the underarms. All the threads have been attached. I showed this already to you in quite detail. It was from, oh, I can't see my books, can I? I already talked about this last episode, but now it is officially finished. And remember, I was concerned about the width of the neck. I left it alone. It's fine. It's how the pattern's supposed to be, I'm sure. It's fine. Oh, by the way, I'm so excited to wear lipstick today because most days I don't even wear makeup anyway because I'm home. And then if you go out, you have to have a mask on, so it's why put lipstick on? It's going to smear all over your face anyway. No one's going to see it. So I'm excited to wear a little lipstick today. And so this was made out of Croft 29, just wonderful farmer that I met at Edinburgh Yarn Festival on their Sunday afternoon small makers event. And it is woolly wool, as I've talked about before, so you really don't want this next to your skin. I have probably 2 1/4 skeins left, and I'm kind of like, what am I going to do with that? Because you really don't want it next to your skin, so you don't want a cowl. So I don't know. Maybe some mittens. Then I was thinking, I've showed you my Newfoundland yarn before. Pretty sure I did. But I thought I would make because that yarn felts like crazy. I mean, you wear it 3 times and it gets wet and it is felted. And so I thought I would make a lining out of the Newfoundland yarn for a mitten, and then maybe do well, not this yarn, this yarn. They look awfully alike, but they're not the same yarn. Oh yeah, this one's much darker. But they're both from Scotland. Oh my gosh. Whoever called me left a voicemail. I have no idea who it was. It's probably Linda from Dealer Services giving me one last chance to extend my auto warranty. Linda, if you are one of my 139 subscribers, thank you so much for giving me one last chance to subscribe for the last 5 years. That has been so generous of you. But Linda, thank you so much. You can stop calling. It's been 5 years. You've been giving us one last chance multiple times a day on some days. But anyway, so where was I? We talked about lipstick. Oh, mittens. See, when you do this by yourself, there's no one here to keep you on track. So you kind of just go with the flow, I guess. All right. Yeah, so I thought the inside of the mitten would be the Newfoundland wool, and then the outside I could do the crunchy wool, and holy cow, would my hands be warm. That would be amazing. So I think that will be put on the list for like maybe January's knitting or something. But I have to take the sweater off now. So hang on. Fix the hair. Okay. Lipstick not on my teeth. Nope. Okay. Let's continue. Works in progress. So, gosh, today is all about Scotland. I have wanted to make this pattern for a while. In fact, I don't even, well, let me see if it's on here. Where is the pattern? Oh, for goodness sakes, is it upstairs? All right, I'll see if I can insert a picture. This, because there's my, I'll insert a picture. Can't believe my pattern's upstairs. I've had this sock pattern for a number of years because I bought the yarn for it at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And I pretty much bought the colors that the pattern uses, but I'm using Jameson's Shetland Spindrift yarn. I think it's a fingering weight. So I got 2 balls each. That's a little brighter. We're not color accurate today. This is showing like really bright baby blue, and it's a soft blue, not gray, but it's not as bright as it's showing on the camera. But anyway, so I got 2 balls of that. Sorry, I clear my throat a lot. 2 balls of the red and 2 balls of this nice creamy white. And I finally decided to cast these socks on. And this is the Catch a Falling Star sock by Pia Kammebornia of the Kammebornia podcast. And here we go. It's my first colorwork sock. I don't know, is this considered color work? I figure if you're working with more than one color, just about dumped my bag over. Oh, in my Fat Wool Co. Sloop sock bag. But yeah, and I was really worried. I mean, I've gone at length on how narrow my feet are, and I made the smaller size, which is 64 stitches. I normally make my socks with 56 stitches. So I was quite nervous, especially when I saw how wide the cuff was getting, or was. And so that made me nervous. It's a top-down sock, heel and gusset, but they're wonderful. They probably could be a little more snug here, but they're wonderful. They actually fit surprisingly well. And so here, I can't wait to wear these with my clogs, because look at that heel. I just love it. And there's a, they have not been blocked yet. And, you know, still working on my tension for color work. There's a stripe on the bottom and snowflakes on the ankle. And a little, I don't know, Arnie and Carlos might call this a lice pattern or something. It's just little speckles of white. It's hard to see because of my tension. But I'm working. I finished the heel and I'm going down the foot of my second sock. Little concerning once again because this one seems to be slightly wider than the first one. Actually, it's not bad at all. So there you are. This is a paid-for pattern, so I don't know if I should tell you why the cuff on the one I'm working on is taller than this one, but maybe eagle-eyed viewers could understand what's going to happen here to make this sock cuff look like this sock cuff. And the method makes this dainty little picot edge. So these are made out of wool, the Jameson's Shetland wool, and Pia herself is Swedish. She and her husband have a lovely podcast. It is in Swedish. They start in English, but it is in Swedish, but they have subtitles. And their cinematography is beautiful, and it's just very calm and, you know, nice shadowy type colors, and the seasons are important to them. So Kammebornia with a K, if you're interested in another foreign language podcast. So that is works in progress. Number 1. Number 2. You may recall during the first worldwide lockdown, I made an Isabella Kramer triangular shawl, knowing that I don't like triangular shawls, but it's the pandemic, you're locked down, it's 2020, you know. And I was using this fabulous yarn that I got at Edinburgh Festival. I'm using my stash. I'm using my stash. This gorgeous, gorgeous yarn from Walk Collection. They are a German dyer. And now I need readers all of a sudden. Walk Collection, Luxe DK. I've shown this before when I made the other shawl back in January, February. 70% alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. This is DK weight. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Volcanic sand. Oh, there's a tag in here. Oh, Hansel and Gretel. So these were the, and I bought 2 skeins of each, not knowing what I was going to do. Made that other shawl. I wasn't going to wear it. I wasn't happy with it. There was nothing wrong with the pattern. The pattern's fabulous. Absolutely nothing wrong with the pattern. It's just, I shouldn't have picked a triangular shawl because I don't like it. And it was too short widthwise because I like a blanket that wraps around your head 5 times. And it was long in the back, not wide, and I just took it apart, the entire shawl. And now I'm making a new shawl. Which end is this coming from? Okay, there we go. So I'm making a new shawl with that yarn. I'm hoping to use up most of the yarn. I am making Circle of Friends by Joji Locatelli. So I'm excited for this shawl. Two color. I'm doing DK. The pattern was written probably for fingering. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah. Sock yarn. 462 yards. You need two skeins. Well, I don't know. 2 skeins. Oh, it's a total of 2 skeins. So you need a total of 880 yards in 2 different colors. Well, it's a shawl. It doesn't matter what size needles you use. It doesn't matter what size weight yarn you use. It's a shawl. So here we are. I'm much happier with a crescent shape with a crescent shape shawl. Much happier. Starts with a garter tab, and then you just take off, garter stitch, left and right, left and right, left and right. So if eagle-eyed viewers, yes, yeah, you want to come say hi? No. Okay. I'll be done like in half an hour. It'll be dark by then. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice, maybe, that there's something missing from this. I started out following the pattern, and you will see that she has bobbles. Instead of a stripe, she had bobbles. I did those bobbles. I did 3 rows of bobbles and was, I don't know, a little bit of ways into my 4th row of bobbles and decided I didn't like the bobbles. I generally love bobbles. However, with the size yarn that I'm using and following her bob, I should have done half a bobble, probably would have been fine. But I did all the different layers to the bobble that she used. I mean, these suckers, they were like grapes. They were so huge. They were like grapes stuck. And I just thought, yeah, this is just going to be weird. They're too big. The bobbles were too big. Took the shawl out again. Decided to do just stripes. So instead of bobbles, I'm doing the contrast yarn in the stripe. And I'm to the point now where I'm starting the wide band of the second color. That's how far I am. But I like the light number of tassels, the fringe, I guess, not tassels, they're fringe, so I like the sparse fringe. Apparently today's a rough one for words. I have been by myself a lot. So anyway, I'm very excited. Oh, cannot wait to have this wrapped around my neck. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely. Okay, well that is work in progress number 2 that I'm working on. Oops, sorry, did I hit that? It's my first microphone. Okay. So I think that's it for the actual works. Oh, I've made progress on my striped blanket, but I don't know if that's necessary to show it to you. It's just stripes. We'll do that next time. We'll give an update on the Arnie & Carlos striped blanket. So I did make some purchases. This first one is from Halloween, but if you recall, I had done a teaser with the unopened packages because it wasn't time to open it yet. And this was the second Advent I have purchased, but the first one I have ever opened. The first one I'd purchased is the Chelsea Yarns Christmas Advent, which I'm just starting to open. So this was a Hocus Pocus themed holiday Advent, no, Halloween Advent by Trilogy Yarns. And I left everything in the packages. A number of podcasters have already shown off all the colors, so you've probably already seen all of these. And I even left all the treats in. She had a treat in. Oh, look, this one had a stitch marker. There were a couple of these candy corn stitch markers. See, everything is, look at that, isn't that pretty? That one's called Burning Ring of Death. And again, these are all references to the Hocus Pocus movie. The Advent was a lot of fun. I see why people get Advents. So this particular one it was a half Advent, so there were 14 mini skeins and 1 full-size skein. Hello. Okay. No, I'm making a video. I'm making a video. Okay, so it was 14 mini skeins, and this one was really pretty too. I mean, they were all really pretty. My original idea is I was going to make socks, just my standard easiest sock in the world pattern that I've modified to fit my feet. But then a couple of the colors were really close together, and I thought, well, I don't want those too close together. So, I mean, there's nothing, the yarns are all gorgeous, but the colors I wanted to be a little more separated. So then I thought, well, I'm just going to wait till they open them all up. So yeah, I probably will still make some Halloween socks for next year, and I will stripe them. Someone else has already made socks, and he did use the colors as he opened them. Scott from not Needles at the Ready. Oh, for goodness sakes. I'm completely blanking on their podcast. I will link it below. Scott and John. Why can't I think of the name of their podcast? I don't know. He went ahead and made socks, and his are finished. And then then you got one full skein, and this one is called Hocus Pocus. So that was the full skein. You know, otherwise, look at that. That one's really pretty. I mean, I really have I have no idea. Oh, this one has a wool wash. So yeah, there were candies, there's a wool wash, a couple of the stitch markers. Sweet tea, no shade. Why could I not? So if you would like to see the yarn all knit up, check out their podcast, maybe 2 episodes to go. I don't know if it was this last one or not. But they showed that off. Oh, and one of these had Stellina. You can see it sparkle in there. So that was fun. I should probably eat the candies. So this was the second Advent I'd ever purchased, but the first one to open. And that was Trilogy Yarns, Hocus Pocus. All right. I need a sign on my door. Maybe I need a red light outside, like on air. You know, the production people. Now, this one is, hello, this one is the first Advent I'd ever purchased, but it was a Christmas. I mean, if you want one of these, I watched podcasters last winter open all their Advents. And of course, it would be maybe Halloween or something, and I'd be like, hey, you know what, maybe I'll look into an Advent. Well, of course, they're all sold out. So I knew I wanted her. I made a decision last Christmas that I wanted Chelsea Yarns Christmas Advent this year, and so I made a point of watching. I think it was August. It was July or August where you have to sign up for these things. So if a holiday Advent is something you are interested in, put it on your calendar, remind yourself to start looking at your favorite dyers, and you're going to have to do it in the summertime or else it's too late. So this one is a full Advent. There's 24 mini skeins and 1 full skein. And she has some candies, little goodies. Look at this nice card. And then she has a nice little key, because the bags themselves are not labeled. So she has a nice little key with all the numbers labeled. So in their cute little bags with the numbers, there's paper fringe. And I saved this to open. This was in there. It doesn't have a name on it or anything. I can tell already this is one of those sugar stir things. Yeah, so a nice sugar, I don't know what those are called. Sugar stick? I don't know. Bunch of peppermint candies, some candy canes. Guessing this is a hot chocolate. Yes! Deep dark. Oh, look at that. No artificial sweeteners. What is this company? Total Indulgence. Never heard of it. Deep dark. Let's see. Do you need water or milk? I can't tell. I don't know. So that's in there. Cookie dough marshmallow? That sounds kind of gross. But hey, try some new stuff. I don't like funny flavors. I do make homemade marshmallows. Have you had homemade marshmallows? The Barefoot Contessa has a recipe for homemade whipped marshmallows. That's the one I use, and it does use corn syrup. I use corn syrup all the time when I used to make them, but now I use agave syrup if you don't want to use the corn syrup. They're a little softer and a little more difficult to melt with the agave syrup, but if you make the marshmallows, cut them into the square once it dries out enough to cut, which takes at least a day. Cut them into your squares and then let those squares dry for maybe another 3 or 4 days. They will be perfect. There's nothing, homemade marshmallows are the bomb. I'm just going to tell you that. On a s'more, oh, and for the adults in my life, when we're having a bonfire or something and people over in the summertime and we make s'mores, I will make chocolate Kahlua marshmallows. Those rock. You can make any flavor you want. I've made peppermint marshmallows to give for the kids to take to school. And then you streak a little bit of the red food coloring, so it's like a red swirl in the marshmallow. They're fun. Totally make your own marshmallows. They're so worth it. Just don't make them the day you're going to serve them. You'll never be able to melt them. They'll be a sticky mess. They need time to dry out. Anyway, so let's see. I already opened today's. So isn't that pretty? It's much more purple on the screen. It's much grayer on my hand. But that one's pretty. I mean, they're all pretty. All pretty. So this was the very first one. I seen Caleb from Close to Amish podcast. He also has this advent and he is winding his up every day. He's making somebody's shawl, I think. What am I going to do with these? No idea. Oh, I do have an idea. I don't have it printed. I don't know where it is. I don't know if I printed it yet. Andrea Mowry has a new striped sweater pattern. And the stripes are pretty tiny. So then I thought, I don't know. I don't know if there would be enough yarn, because if you recall from my other videos, I've kind of figured out that for myself, I use 50% of a color on the body, and then if you want your stripes to match on your sleeves, I need 25% for one arm and 25% for another arm. When you're dealing with a 20-gram mini, that's not very much yarn. So your stripes might be three rows big. I have no idea. No idea. But anyway, totally fun. Advents are fun. I get why people get them. And I'm sure most people that get them actually use minis and do things with them. So I have no idea. We'll just see. Okay, let's see. For yarn, pretty sure that is it. If not, I'll just have to show it next time. So if you have no interest whatsoever in quilting or sewing, thank you so much for watching. And I won't be broadcasting again before Christmas, so have a fabulous Christmas season, Hanukkah season, whatever your choice of celebration is. I hope you have a wonderful time in spite of all of the lockdowns and closures and restrictions. So thanks for watching. Okay, so let's get on to the exciting things. I have been a sewing fool lately. This, oh, and my pattern is hidden behind me. Here it is. Here it is. I made Made in Denim, the Francine. And I made the dress. This pattern is for a top or a dress. I made the dress. And I made it out of this Robert Kaufman mammoth flannel. This flannel is amazing. It is so incredibly soft. This is the most incredible thing, comfortable thing to wear. Has a cute little pocket Got the pocket on the right side this time. You have the shoulders fit wonderfully, so it was the right size for that. I added 2 inches to the sleeve. Thank goodness I did that. So I added 2 inches to the sleeve. I also added 2 inches to the length. Oh, we're going to try not to kill ourselves. So, got my jeans on underneath. So here's my knee. So it's right about knee. I mean, without the extra 2 inches, it probably would have been up here, which is fine, but I like it like here. It has pockets. The only problem that you can probably, oh, I don't have to yell, the microphone's right here. The only problem is you can see it's a bit of a tent on me on the bottom. I mean, like here's my waist right here. I mean, here's my, I mean, we've already talked before, there are no curves happening here. In junior high, I had to buy jeans in the boys department because straight up and down. Anyway, so my mom and I talked. I should probably take it in because it's a bit like a tent. But then the pockets are there, so I have to take the pockets out and then figure out how to. I didn't want to do darts because there aren't darts in the pattern, and then the flannel would kind of go and with the darts. So, but for now, I just left it. But it is so amazing. If you like to make clothes and you like to make shirts, buy some Robert Kaufman Mammoth flannel and make yourself a flannel shirt. You will wear it all winter long, I guarantee it. This is amazing flannel. Love it. So that's that. A text just came through. I mean, what the heck? Everybody knows when I'm podcasting. The dogs bark. I've had 2 people walk in the room. My phone has rung. Then a text came in. Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay, so we're going to go on to quilting now. So you've seen this quilt. You saw the top, but now it is quilted. I just went ahead and did a meandering stipple. You're not going to be able to see the quilting, but the quilting's done. I just did a meandering stipple. It's like 40 minutes. We are moving right along. I used white thread. The first quilt I made, I used gray thread, which it occurred to me after the fact that I really like the gray thread. I should have done that on this one too, but whatevs. So it's white thread, looks wonderful. I have not put the binding on yet, so I will use this polka dot for the binding. And then this is the back side. This is a Kaif facet fabric. Can't remember what it's called, but it's gorgeous. So I'm very happy with it. I've already shown you the fabric. I'm going to make another one. So that's quilt number 1. I am totally getting back into quilting. I've been a quilter for, gosh, 28 years. I have taught a class. One of my very first videos, I showed you my quilt that I hand quilted. That one I taught as a class. And then just kind of got away from it in the last few years. But now, I don't know, getting back into it. Chip from Fiber Hustle, you've really inspired me to get back into quilting. So I'm excited. I really enjoy it. And so I'm going to take this one down. Ta-da! This is the big one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I made the full size. Oh, I don't have the pattern handy. Lo and behold Stitchery. I showed it last time. The knitted star quilt. This is the full size traditional pattern. It was a lot of sewing, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that I think that if I had not participated in the sew along, which, you know, broke the whole project up into week by week, do this much work this week, do this much work next week, because there's so much sewing involved with this, I don't know that I would have had this finished, because I probably would have just been like, I can't work on this right now. But I wanted to keep up, and I did. I kept up each week and did a little bit for the next week, each week, and just trucked right on along. So I love it. Absolutely love it. So it is sandwiched. You see all my safety pins here. This is the back. I really was not going for a Christmas quilt. I wanted just a red and white quilt. Summertime, anytime. And now I kind of wish I would have done a charcoal background, but this is a red, and it's very Christmassy. It's kind of hard to see, but I can't pull it forward. Hopefully the whole thing won't come. But it's a delightful Scandinavian print. It's called Scandi, S-C-A-N-D-I. Oh, I could tell you right who it's by. Maycower, UK, 2216 Scandi Scenic. Maycower, M-A-K-O-W-E-R, UK. But it has some deer, trees, very Scandinavian. But that's the back, which is lovely. Absolutely lovely. This has been on my design wall since I finished it, because I've been staring at it in a conundrum on how to quilt it. I really did not want to do an all-over stipple, because I felt that would take away from the piecing of the snowflakes. And it's a relatively small area for the snowflakes, so then I was really trying to figure out the best way to do it. But I think I've come to a conclusion, or a decision. Oh, and also I did not want to use white thread over the entire quilt. I mean, many people have in the finished photos, and it looks just fine. I'm probably thinking too much about this. But my decision is I'm going to use white thread on the stars. I'm going to use red thread in the red sections. I'll probably going to outline each one of these sections. And I might just do up and down like that to preserve the piecing. And I'm going to do I don't know if it's rolled candy, but there's a quilting pattern where you do loops, and it looks like that ribbon candy. I think I'm going to do the ribbon candy and all the sashing. I might just outline these guys. Not sure. The only problem is that if I do the vertical, and I like my quilting really close, like 1/4 of an inch, and these will be quite flat in appearance, and then these will like pop if you don't have any quilting holding them down. So I don't know, maybe I'll just do a couple of squares, I'm not sure. And then in these guys, I don't quite know yet. I might just do a simple 4-corner star flower, or like a 4-corner flower thing. And then these guys, I might do circles. So if I do circles here, a tight ribbon candy here. Now I'm seeing something on here. So I watched Fiber Hustle's latest podcast today, and Chip went ahead and made the wall hanging for our joint sew along. And he caught in the directions that you want these sections all going in the same direction, and the directions say watch your lines or something, Chip said. obviously I did not pay attention to that because this one goes this way and this one goes this way. Whatever. It's gonna, and that's why I thought that if I just did circles here and did lines here and outline the white too, because the snowflake is your focus. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I want to start it this week. So I don't know if I'll get it ready by Christmas or not. But it can be used throughout the whole winter season. I will not put this away after Christmas. This will be used. But it's fabulous. I love it. It's a lot of sewing, I'm not going to lie. But it's fat. You just do it. You just put your podcasts on, watch some movies. I watch a lot of Murder, She Wrote. Knitted Star, lo and behold, Stitchery. So I have one more quilt to show you. It's a work in progress, and it's my own design. And so what I'm going, it's on my design wall over here. So I'm going to take you over to my paper pattern. Oh wait, where's my book? Where's my sewing wall is over here. So let me, excuse me. I'm sorry, I just coughed right in the microphone. Not used to the microphone. So it was probably Chip again who mentioned this book, Encyclopedia of Quilt Patterns. And it doesn't say anything in here whatsoever about using the blocks. So I'm assuming that you can use blocks and take them as inspiration, and because there aren't any measurements or anything, they're just hand drawn, and then it kind of tells you what the researcher could. Well, this is by Barbara Brackman. So it tells you historically through her research where they could do their best to give original attribution. Is that the word I'm looking for? Design rights, not rights, but the original design. I will have no words left by the end of this lockdown. Anyway, they try to document the historical research of the origins of the block. So I found one that I liked. I've got a few marked here. And then, so we're going to go over here so I can show you what's going on. So I'm a pencil and paper person. So I got out this butcher paper that we have, and I knew I wanted a huge block. So this block is, I believe, 22 inches wide. So I wanted a nice big modern block. And I went ahead and from the pattern in the book, drafted it. So this is 1/4. So this same thing would mirror here, go here, mirror here. And that's what we're doing. So I have in my fabric stash, I have a jelly roll and a charm pack. So here's my pattern notes. That's what I'm working off of. So this is where I'm at so far. So this was the original block that I made. These are not 22-inch wide blocks because I'm restricted by the jelly roll width of the fabric. So I'm restricted to 2.5-inch squares, which after you do all your seams are only 2-inch squares. Actually, these are less than 2-inch because they're 1.5-inch squares. And then in this one, I did it as the book had, where this was a white square or a solid square. And I decided that the diamond really didn't stand out as much. So I changed that and added a half triangle here of the diamond so that those stand out more. And then my original idea was to make each one of these 4 corners on each block the same, but I didn't have enough fabric. And I'm working only with what I have. The white is Snow by Robert Kaufman. I've got yards of that. Let me see if, hopefully it won't fall. Trying to hang this up on a shelf. Well, that's not going to work. I tried to hang it up so I wouldn't be so movie. There we go. I didn't have enough to match the 4 corners to the star. So I decided that, and then these, if I had made each block different in all 4, if each block had its own, if each block matched the star, that means that all 4 of these squares would have been different fabric. And then I decided that probably would be really busy. This isn't busy already, but this is a good busy, I think. So then I decided no, so in each individual, so this block was the very first one, so all 4 corners are the same. Then I decided no, I want to add this as another design element, so these need to all match. So this needs to hang on my design wall, because then I need to make sure that I've got the right corners matching with the square next to it so that I can get these additional design elements. City Park, I think, is the name of this yarn. And so then you'll see here, I've made these. Wait, where am I pointing? Over here. So I've got all of these done, but they're waiting here for the next blocks to go in. So tell me what you think. I have, oh, I do have new fabric I can show. And then we'll be done. Just about an hour. So this is my practice fabric. Again, I had this Jelly Roll and Charm Pack for years and years. So I thought, all right, go ahead. Let's use it up and test it out on this. What do you think? If you're a quilter, is this something, do you like? Do you think people would make it? Do you think somebody would buy it? It's a finished quilt. I don't know. But, so the blocks are supposed to be much bigger than this. But I'll show you my new fabric next time, I guess. We've gone on quite a long time. And my lighting is off a little bit, so, well, here, it's right here. Oh, and I've got another quilt top. I've been making progress cutting out my Jen Kingwell block of the month. I think I'm up to 5 months are cut out now. I have new fabric, and it is not K-Facet. Where did I get this from? Can't remember. Look at this lusciousness. This is Art Gallery Fabrics, designers. So these will be a quilt. I mean, oh my gosh. I got the half yard bundle. So there's a half yard. Oh, look at that one. Oh. Oh, these are showing double because that's the fold in the fabric. Oh, wow. I haven't even opened this yet. This is the first time. Isn't that pretty? Oh. But yeah, pretty sure that's Art Gallery. Oh my gosh. This one is a new fabric release. It's called Kismet. Oh, my order came from Lady Bell Fabrics. They're somewhere not near me. I mail ordered this. Oh, it has her phone number and her email, but I don't know where they are. I believe this is by Sharon Holland, and it's called Kismet. This is a brand new fabric collection. Oh. But the quilts that have been designed this, is it Lo and Behold Stitchery? She has a new quilt pattern that she uses this line. It has crosses on it. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. So my plan is that when I get my own quilt pattern design figured out, I'm going to use the same background fabric, this Robert Kaufman Snow, where this one is bleach white. So that's a nice bright white. This one is Robert Kaufman Snow. I mean, on the video it just looks white, but it's kind of a, it's kind of an aged white almost. So it's not bright white, but I wouldn't want bright white with these fabrics. Are we doubled up again? Yeah. So, oh my, I can't even stand it. That's gorgeous. So my plan is that when I'm ready, I'm going to make, because these are half-yard pieces, I can get my 3-inch blocks that I need to get my 22-inch giant squares. And then I thought I could add some sashing and then break up those extra design elements, or I would keep those together and add some white around it, so the sashing would come into the extra design elements, but there would be white around it to give it a little bit of give it some space. Plus that also helps increase the size of the quilt. Because this, holy cow, this is a lot of stitching. Not a lot of stitching, but there's a lot of ironing. I'm pressing my seams open, which I don't usually do, but I'm pressing all the seams open, and I'm matching all my corners. If you're a quilter, you already know how to get your nice sharp points and match your corners. If you don't know, and you'd be interested in a short little video on my next video on how I go about matching seams and corners, just let me know. And so I think that's about it for today. I hope you like the new microphone. And it's been exciting to be sewing so much and have all these quilts going on. And let's see, so I'm off. I'm going to take my studio lights into the family room because my daughter wants to practice some black and, well, I'm assuming she wants black and white. We're going to do a little photography and use some tin foil to make cones around my studio light bulbs to really narrow down the lighting. I don't know, we're just going to see what we can come up with. If I get a winner and she lets me, maybe I'll share one with you. But yeah, I'm going to go do some photographs with my daughter. And thank you so much if you're still here. Appreciate it very much. And I wish everyone a swift end to 2020. A joyous start to 2021, and isn't that weird? Oh my gosh, we'll see you next year because I'm not going to be able to podcast before the holidays again. So thank you so much, and I look forward to 2021, and I don't know. So that's it. Thank you. Bye.